the rock. A rock. You would think that with all the time I spent listening to him and trying to figure him out, that I could see what he meant. Sometimes I didn't even know if he understood our need. There was an occupying army on every corner, and he didn't seem to see it. I kept thinking, is he blind? If he couldn't see that, what was he looking at? What was he waiting for? We needed to be saved from the Romans right then.
Each time the disciples looked outward at the Romans, Jesus looked inward at the temple. Every time they looked outward at sin, he looked inward at the person. When they saw the outward expression of loud public prayer, he looked inward and saw a cold heart. If you're someone who concentrates on what's on the outside, you will always be out of step with the Messiah. At the final meal with his disciples, Jesus tried to explain to them what was to come. He could see it clearly: the arrest, the beatings, the cross. But the disciples' eyes were closed.
Strangest time I had ever spent with Jesus. We were right on the edge, so close. We came into the city that week, and you should have seen the people. They were ready. We were ready. I think even the Romans were afraid. The anticipation was hard to take. Then we took the Seder. After that, I was more confused than I had ever been. Something was different about him that night. He seemed to think that we were all going to abandon him. He all but said Judas would betray him. Judas finally got up and left. Jesus said that he would only be with us a little while longer, and that where he was going, we couldn't come. I said I would follow him anywhere and even lay down my life for him. He asked me if I truly believed that, and then said that even I would betray him that night. To whom? It was late. We weren't going to see anybody but each other that night. We were on our way out of the city. There's a place we go, a garden near Gethsemane. I don't think any of us understood everything that night. And I didn't understand what was happening to our Messiah.
Crying out. never seen such a naive bunch of sheep. I was like them. Then what Jesus was doing didn't make any sense. Now I've realized. He had no intention of overthrowing the Romans to become king. He had no political ambition, no drive. He was pandering to the wrong people. He spent all this time with the poor, the obscure, and the lame. That was a dead end. We needed alliances with the influential people of Jerusalem. We needed help from the Sanhedrin. We need money. We needed to court the Pharisees, not alienate them. Am I the only one that sees this? But I solved all that tonight. Money, influence, and power. Now we're ready for the real Messiah. You know where Jesus was taking the group? To a cross for each of them. Not me.
Indeed, he was. He was leading himself to a cross that would save every one of them, every one of us. Judas' sin was no different from any of ours. He decided that he knew more about God's plans for him than God did. Judas may have believed Jesus was God's Messiah, but Jesus was not the Messiah Judas was waiting for, not the one he was willing to accept. So he sold him to the high priest and the Pharisees. During the night, Judas led a detachment of soldiers and some officials to the Garden of Gethsemane, where the disciples were caught off guard and surprised, but Jesus wasn't.
I needed to ask him why this was happening. I needed to know what I was supposed to do. I needed to talk to him one more time. I wonder if I ever truly saw who he was.
It looks like they realized what a mistake they made. They scattered. I knew it. You are holy, holy. It worked. He's gone. Now I have the money we need. But nothing to use it for. And what's happening to him now? I didn't know how far they'd go. He doesn't deserve what they're doing to him. But he chose it, not me. I'm not responsible for his actions. This was going to happen. I didn't cause it. At most, I just sped it up. Lord of heaven and earth.
Us was death and hatred, spitting, cursing, screaming. It was the worst place I had ever been. Where were the men? Where were his friends? Where were the people who pledged their lives and their honor to him? Christ was going to the cross. And the men he was to die for were hiding in dark rooms, too afraid to move and too weak to watch. What haunts me is that he didn't seem surprised by any of this. It was as if he had known this all along. Like he had prepared for it all of his life.
I know you had me on your mind when you climbed upon that hill, for you saw me with eternal eyes while I was yet in sin. Redeemer, Savior, every stripe upon that your love knows no end. Redeemer, Savior, friend. Oh,
Christ did not die for people who followed him without fault.